I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Every Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. we assemble here to try to beat these books. We've been marinating on these lines all day. We're going to use line movement, cash flow splits, where the big bettors are hitting. We got sharp betting reports. We've got trends. We've got angles. They're our friends till the end. We got the best chat in the business, all sharing information to help one common goal: grow our bankrolls. And I think we did that this past weekend, so I appreciate you guys that stuck around with us live here. UFC on Saturday was a big, almost 7-hour show, but then a little impromptu get-together yesterday. A little fun get-together for that March Madness game. Auburn advances. All four teams, of course, the lead here. All four number one conference teams. Number one teams in the conference, in the brackets, in the seeding, whatever. It's all chalk. It's all chalk. I think I saw it's the second time it's happened in like 25 years or something to that effect. So it's all chalk. Good for, what is it, 12-0? 12-0 for the favorites between the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Good job. Good job. So, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be the opposite with the NIL. I thought that they would say, rather than sitting on the bench at Houston, go play for Middle Scumbag University, pick yourself up a cool millie, drive around campus as the man, and maybe we would have a tighter talent gap across the way here. But looks like the mid-major programs are going to get even further behind unless they do something drastic to change the rules. Transfer portal is very much in play. A lot of players announcing they're going to go before it's even done. Coaches getting changed out there as well. I don't know what's going on with college hoops here, but it sounds like they're going down the same road as the NBA, just mucking it all up. Speaking of mucking it up, we got torpedo bats in Major League Baseball. The newest craze. The newest craze out there. Everyone's talking about it. Didn't sound like anybody knew what it was, so I looked it up. It sounds like they shifted the heavy part of the bat, the solid part of the bat, the core, where all the meat and potatoes are, right in the hitting spot, right in the sweet spot. So you've got more power, more meat coming through, swinging on those balls. And you saw what it did for the Yankees. Now, in all fairness, was it the Yankees? I mean, clearly, we talked about that lineup the other day. What a hell of a lineup them boys have. But in all fairness, the Brewers might just legitimately stink. They just might legitimately be one of the worst teams in baseball. Early overreaction time, I know, but you just lost to the Kansas City Royals 11-1 today, bro. What are you doing? Bro, 0-4. Your home opener, you got busted up. I'll tell you what was great about that is I had the first five. So I gave out to our enhanced members the Kansas City Royals. Appreciate you guys that did get on there and become silver and gold members. More to come here with the afternoon baseball as we roll. I gave out the Kansas City Royals. I think it was around even money. So clearly, nice W. I had the under 4.5. I snuck in the last minute and popped in the under 4.5. It was right after I took the Bobby Witt RBI at plus 145. Snuck in there. And it was, 4-0, like right away. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. And then I didn't hear anything. It was awful quiet. All was quiet on the Western Front until it was about the 6th or 7th inning when they scored again. So incredible. Brewers are that bad. Royals, maybe, I don't know. They're 2-2 on the season. That was their first road game. Brewers-Royals, always a tough series. The Minnesota Twins might be the fighting for the biggest dirtbags in the league. 0-4. Now, granted, all four of those games were on the road, but can't find runs. An over. Chris Paddock gets himself a 24.3 ERA after that 9-0 thumping by the White Sox. You know what's funny is I had some tremendous numbers on Paddock too. But Martin Perez comes through for the White Sox. How about that? 2-2 on the season here to start the season off. Baltimore hammered the Red Sox. 8-5 was the final score, but it wasn't that close. The Red Sox are 1-4. It was 4-1 right off the gate. I did a little parlay action there with the Baltimore team total over and the Orioles to catch a nice little plus money score. And how about them Phils? They got some torpedo bats in play. The Rave of the MLB. Them boys are all talking about it out there, and a couple of them guys already have them in play in Philadelphia. 6-1, down 1-0. The Rockies, well, they rockied. They take an early lead. We talked about this last week with Tampa Bay. We got to put some of these things down on paper. We got to commit them to memory because there's opportunities to live bet galore. Phillies minus 1.5 cashes. Good stuff. Now let's see. With the enhanced plays, I did send out a couple of player props. So we won't cover those here. Some player props out there. We did cash the free RBI I put out there with Bobby Witt on Twitter today. Well, shout out MMA Jeff because in the wild craziness that is this past weekend. We had another great main card. Yeah, it's expected. Literally, not to be conceited or arrogant, but we work hard. Nobody grinds these UFC cards more than we do. Got the playbook already in play for this week. Already got it updated, starting to get some plays out there already. But Sunday, impressive. Jeff gave out a golf winner. I think it was 33-1 in Min Woo Lee. He put that out there on the post tab for everybody Wednesday for Jeff. 33-1 winner. Got a couple top tens in there as well. And then he gave out Denny Hamlin for NASCAR yesterday on the community post as well. So if you guys aren't checking out this community post, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out. Action galore. The polls are fantastic. Joe T puts those polls out there for everybody. And we're winning at an incredibly rate. You guys are winning at an incredibly high rate, but make sure you don't sleep on this post tab. And of course, anytime I put something in the post tab, I retweet it from Twitter. Sports Money Wins accounts. Sports Money Wins at Sports Money Wins is the account to follow on Twitter so you don't miss out on it. 2 RBI props, 1 pitching prop out there for the remainder of the day on some of the early plays. I've got 2 more plays I'm looking at later tonight that I might slide out there as well. So that's kind of brings us current. I think that brings us current. Like I said, it was a lot of fun last night. Drinking on an empty stomach. Got up late after the UFC stream. Did some recaps. Got the playbook updated. Was talking with Jeff. We were like, let's go live for this. Let's go live for this Auburn Michigan State game, and skipped right through dinner and drank my dinner. Turns out I drank my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. So I paid the price for that this morning. A little slow start here, but of course, Ramon Scott popped us off 9 a.m. with the morning steam. I hope you guys checked that show out as well. I think you guys are all pretty solid with that. But here's the opportunity. Here's what we're going to do. I was thinking about this. I'm not going to announce it yet. But I am going to make a specific baseball segment. I'm excited. I was inspired by something this weekend from the UFC playbook. If you saw some of those tools that we put out there, we're doing something special for baseball this year because I think that's the spot we do it best. And very excited about what's coming up here with the hitting props. Going to get into some of these pitching props. And only because they're giving free bets will I get involved with home run props. Otherwise, Ryan Mountcastle, take a hike. Shithead. It's that time of the show. We got work to do. We want you guys to get these plays in there. Get ready to go so you have time to get them up, put them up in the book, get them up to the window, wherever it is you got to put those plays. But we cannot start out before you guys do me the favor. We're viewer supported. You know what? We got a lot of bronze members out there, but those that upgrade to silver and gold to show a higher level of support, we want to give you a higher level of support. And we do that by way of these enhanced plays. More to come throughout the summer. And as we move forward, we've got 3 tiers out there. But the most important thing you guys can do is hit the thumbs up button. Tell a friend. It takes a second. It lets YouTube know we're doing this thing. So if you haven't done so already, let's take that time of the show to smack this thumbs up and we'll get ready to go. All right. Let's get ready to go on this thing here. For a big week. Man, we've had some good weekends here, but March Madness. All those favorites. I'll own it. I'll show up on the regular regardless, but getting all them favorites winning, I'm probably not having a good tournament. And that being said, I did not have a good tournament. So got a couple spots. Did cash the under yesterday in that Michigan State. Gave out the Houston spot. Was at Michigan State too, though, so 2-1. It's a grind. We're grinders. It's time to grind on this card here. Pen and paper out. The best chat in the business assemble here. They're ready to go. They're giving you their best bets. Make sure you do put them out there in the comment section so that we can talk about your best bets here. Lots of plays to get through. Not a lot of time to do it. But Jover's going to pop us off here. Comment their number one. He's going Mets Marlins over 8.5. That's his play of the day. POD for Jover. That's the F your under play of the day. He also likes the Braves and Dodgers over 8 and the Cubs and A's over 8.5. You know, something made me think about this here. Are you guys Nerfy and Yerpy players? Because I did give out a Nerfy. I want to know on my Nerfy Yerpies this year. If it's something you guys play, I'll make sure to incorporate it. So I'm very curious if you guys do. I know summertime rolls around here. There's slim pickings, so we'll Nerfy and Yerpy and parlay and everything else that goes into it. But I want to know if those are things that you guys get into. Matter of fact, maybe I'll put a poll out there here. Collecting feedback so that we can try to come up with the best bets to help everybody get more money. Check the Gerald Jones says, what a great run in March. Have 3 out of 4, 5 of 4 teams live in bracket pools. Florida over Houston, still up for our guy, Gerald Jones. And he's giving you a best bet. He likes the Heat. -5 in the first half. I like that. I was just, I was doing the updates before the show here, and I was like, I might just fire Houston or Miami out there anyways. Why the hell not? Gerald Jones says, can get 3 more big wins in bracket contest. Let's go. Stop Geo Engineer Joe W. Nicholas, Andy Big Scott 510 is in the house. He's on the Flyers money, the Guardians money line, and the Reds Rangers first 5 over 4.5 for our guy Big Scott. Blake likes the Braves first 5. They did be dirty yesterday, man. Breaking news in Braveland. Profar looking to take down an 80-game suspension for illegal substances. Jerickson Profar was announced about, I saw it about 45 minutes, maybe an hour ago now. A key bat out of that lineup, Jerickson Profar. It looks like he's going to take an 80-game suspension. Jay Main, there's my guy. Keith, each and every stride, says, I'll take a shot with the home dog on the Reds. Definitely more. It's a sport money bang. What's good about my friend? Good to see you. Blake M says White Sox easy. Reminder, any team can win any given day in baseball, in his opinion. Absolutely. Robert McCormick. Shout out to him. My guy Bobby Mack. Damon Waring's here. Markel. Says, nah, Mikey, Brewers are going to be ass. I text Jover. I said, that'll be a long season, Jover. It's going to be a long season. Which he knows, I'm sure. It doesn't help when I'm messaging him saying, it's going to be a long season. What's up, old E? Says, boots are off. He's ready to cap. Phil the kill says, clear spot on the shit list for the Brewers and get it over with. I didn't bet on him. I faded him. I've been fading him away. I think I'm 3-1. I think I'm 3-1. I think I'm 3-1 with him to start things off. So I'm happy, man. Let's go. Nate Services just hit the O's money line. All right. Phil the kill says Alec Baum on the Phils jumped right on that torpedo bat. Got himself a hit today using it. Gerald Jones has cashed the White Sox first 5. Phillies run line full game. Nathan Cerna likes Boise. I think the better team first half and full game -5.5. I think so. I thought it was 8.5. I thought that was the number that I saw earlier today. You know, that's another little misunderstood component there. A lot of people talking about, what's this tournament? Well, you know what? It's the opportunity for these teams to play for NIL dollars. So it's like, think about the in-season tournament for the NBA. It's basically like that for college basketball. And Nebraska, Arizona State. I'm on the under in that game. I'm on the under in Nebraska, Arizona State. That's a one. I got 156.5. It's down to 155.5. Then you got Georgetown and Washington State. I don't know. I did take Boise State minus. I think Boise State wins the whole thing, in my estimation. But I think it's pretty cool. Why not? Yeah, it's April basketball, and it's a little strange, but it's 1 week. We get extension of basketball, and these teams are playing. I think it's $500,000 of NIL money. So imagine you're a 18-year-old college kid playing for Scumbag University, and actually, there's no real Scumbag University in this thing, I guess, right? But hey, you're a team like Cincinnati playing DePaul tomorrow, and you're laying a 9.5 spot. Yeah, why not have a shot to win $500,000? Why the hell not? Let's go. Fernando Mendoza's in the house. We got rid of a lot of people. Not surprised that Brewers are trash. Wait till we get Tobias back. Blake M says many teams using torpedo bat. FYI to everybody. Yep. Keith shouting out Jeff for his big day. Ricky Levine, there it is. 80-game suspension. Redbeard likes the Magic money line. Let's go, you guys. Trisha M. I'm watching, but making some fresh chimichurri in honor of the first ribeye of the season. Pick him in the 7th inning. I saw all those runs. I was like, really? Billy Ho's in the house. Best bets. Detroit, Seattle could be a hockey game. Phil the Kill likes the more Yerpies than Nerpies. Okay. Shout out to Subhuman Gaucho. He's in the house. He's ready to roll. Okay. Yerpies more than Nerpies. All right. Solo picks. Tyler Glass now 7+ ladder spot. Love it. Nathan Serta's asking if Lindor's still out with a kid. And you guys are busy today. Teddy, I love it. Gonzo likes Texas moneyline and Detroit moneyline. Markel's on Kobe White under PRA 32.5. Billy Ho says, I haven't lost on first 7. Never tried first 3 either. Yeah, I'm not first 3 guy either. I'm not going to say never, but I'm going to give strong probably won't. How about that? I'm going to say strong probably won't. Unless we happen to be live streaming a baseball game, and I wouldn't even know then what to make of it. Like, I don't like the baseball until the second time through the order. Maybe the under in the first 3? I don't know. Nate sort of likes Arizona State plus 8.5. Yeah, Jerry Davis went under, got slugged. Yeah, that was both those teams played, man. I turned it on. It was like 84-84, and I was like, whoa, we got a battle. J Man likes the A's team total 3.5. Nats over 3.5. Tampa Bay Rays under 4.5. Blake M likes the Flyers Preds under 5.5. Okay, we're current. We're ready. Let's see if we can get this done in, say, like 22 minutes, huh? Let's get this done by 1:45, so we got plenty of time to get these plays clicked in, take a look at the last-minute line movement. Okay. Smack that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Appreciate you guys all being here, ready to get this new week. With new week comes new opportunity with new excitement. But we still have the same hockey programs in place here. Both the hockey and NBA are down to 10 games-ish, 10-pack of games before the season matures. And we have postseason play. Now we know the NBA will be putting everybody in. They'll have play-in games. The NHL will have wildcard games. The Minnesota Wild and the New Jersey Devils are both two teams that are trying to get themselves right for some form of postseason. Philip Gustafsson, Jacob Markstrom, 28, 17, and 4 for Gustafsson, 23, 14, and 6. Look, these goalies are almost identical. 2.154 to 2.59, 91.6 to 89.8. Arguably the better edge on the Minnesota side of things here. And Minnesota had themselves a nice 3-game winning streak. And Gustafsson was playing phenomenal. He was up to 91.6 on the season. He was up to 97.6% saving. He's now lost 2 of his last 3. And his numbers are down to 90.1% saving. New Jersey, on the other hand, comes back home after a nice little roadie. But the big thing we have to talk about here is the fact that this is the sudden revenge spot. These two teams just played. They just played in Minnesota. All trends pointed to Minnesota. Everything was on. I think that was it Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Everything was showing Minnesota, 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 and then the Devils just come out there and smack them in the mouth. Now, with all due respect, the Stars, the Golden Knights, and the Capitals were the three games that the Minnesota Wild played before that New Jersey Devils game. So it was a big Devil spot or a big Minnesota spot. They arguably played the best teams in the NHL. They did beat the Capitals too. That last game before the Devils, 4-2, maybe a little exhausted. Now they're going on the road. It's Devils versus, and it's a revenge bounce back, immediate revenge bounce back. Our favorite spot in the sport. We're gonna hit. We're gonna hit on it. We're gonna take a shot with the Minnesota Wild at plus 130. And we'll expect Gustafsson to bounce back here as well. So that's the way we're going to open up tonight's card. Little Minnesota Wild action. See if we can't catch this money. What else we got? What else we got? You guys are flying on this thing here, huh? Ramon Scott says the Dodgers Freeman not in the starting lineup tonight. Blake's going to be only on Braves money line. Billy Briz in the house. What's up, Billy Briz? He's got some action for us here. HVL over 9.5 rebounds in TCU Texas game tonight. What's up to Billy Briz in the house, my man? Good to see you, Billy. Thank you for dropping in. Billy Host says Wild could have a stellar record, but must be a lot of good teams. Yeah. Line's coming down. Got that line at plus 130 an hour ago. It's down to plus 125. So there is some action coming in. That game will pop off at 7 p.m. Do not miss it. You don't want to miss out on this immediacy of the revenge. Now, I see a lot of you guys looking at this Flyers game. You know, the thing about the Flyers is that it looks like they've got Fedotov in goal. And they haven't won with this guy. They're like 1-11 in 12 starts with this dude. So that's a big factor. It's a huge factor. You got to look at the fact that they're not winning with this dude and say, what's going on? On the other side of things, though, Marchand, Marchand get him confused there. Big defender acquired this year from Vegas. He's out for Nashville. I don't know. Flyers are firing now. I mean, Mishkov, why not? 13-8 in their last two games after Tortorella gets fired. Is this the neutralizer? I've got trends that kind of show it to me on both sides of this thing. I got a 73 and 80 position for the Flyers. You last played the team, and it was not chippy, less than 3 power plays alike. And you won. Your opponent was home. You don't win those next games. I'm not sure the correlation. I stayed off this game. I'm not interested. You know, I play hockey. I'll play a lot of hockey games, but I'm not playing that hockey game. That seems like a tricky, trappy little spot to get invested in here, and I don't want any part of it. I'll tell you what. Raise your hand if you told me everybody today was saying Colorado minus 1.5. I heard it. I heard everybody saying that. Text messages, and phone calls, and you got to play Colorado minus 1.5, right? It's bounce back spot. Yeah, I get it. I get it entirely. Yeah, they should bounce back. They're at home. All signs kind of point to, yeah. It's a big number at minus 265. You know, if you look at kind of, yeah, I mean, there's no question. I said this before. I think it's Calgary or Colorado, Tampa in the Stanley Cup. The Avalanche were beating the shit out of everybody. They busted up Ottawa. They busted up Montreal. That was in their barns. They come back home. They take down Detroit. They put the fire hose all over that red hot LA Kings team. They shut them out 4-0. Then they get the buzzsaw for our team. We were the first ones to talk about jumping in on the St. Louis Blues and just blind betting them. So that's the position that the Colorado Avalanche find themselves in, as they were kicking the shit out of everybody. They had a big win against divisional rival in LA, who's been fighting fiercely, and then St. Louis stops them. You got back-to-back losses for the Flames. What do you do? They did play Dallas. They did play Edmonton. It's murderer's row for Calgary. I think that murderer's row leads to exhaustion. Now, I could certainly understand why you want to get in on Colorado minus 1.5. You got the better goaltender, arguably, and Scotty Wedgwood starting. Dan Vladar will start on the other side of things, and he's the backup. 10, 11, and 6 with a 3.01 goals against average, an 89.3% save percentage. It's the first game of back-to-back. We know that the NHL players like that spot a lot. And Calgary's still in that desperation fight for playoff mode. Wedgwood on the other side of things, 4-game winning streak. Gets stamped, as I mentioned, to the St. Louis Blues. So everyone's going to tell you, look, go get it. The fact is they played the Avalanche just 2 weeks ago. They won 4-2. Makes a lot of sense. I don't think the ROI is there, though. Minus 1.5 is minus 1.5 is minus 105. I can appreciate that. You haven't heard anybody talk about the over, have you? Have you? And you know I like talking about unders. And here I am, putting the stamp on it. Sorry. Minnesota plus 130. Over 5.5 in this game. Here's why. You get the most energy from Calgary because it is that front end of the back-to-back. You got a Colorado team that should be pissed off after that loss and want to fire back. St. Louis is an under team. Calgary, granted, Canadian, and so on, doesn't have their best goaltender going in goal either. And fact of the matter is, Calgary's been scoring. 5 goals against the Devils, 4 goals against the Islanders, 4 goals against the Kraken, 2 goals against Dallas, and 2 goals against Edmonton. Okay. Still 2 goals, though. It's not like it was 1. It's not like they were spitting and sputtering to try to get those things in the goal out there. And ultimately, we got ourselves a nice little angle with a huge margin. Home favorite off a loss. That is Colorado. So we're still in alignment with Joe Public talking about Colorado minus 1.5. Home favorite off a loss on a Monday. 22-2 to the over. But it's going over by 2.5 goals a clip. 2.5 goals a clip. 5.5's juice. The reason I went 5.5 and paid a little juice is because if we do see a 4-2, well, I want the cash. When you got a 22-2 trend, I don't want to fuck around and find out on those things. It's important that we extract the money where we can. And when you've got such a strong trend with such a healthy margin. Now, if you could only get a 6, fine. I would encourage you to look for other books. But if you can only get a 6, I get it. I mean, 5.5s are widely available across the market right now. And then them 6s come in here and they're sitting there right around even money. But it's even money because it gives you the opportunity for the push in there. And they're going to need to go out there and put up a 7-pack. The trend would tell you that they will put up the average line that we're seeing, the average total is 5.9. So when you're winning by almost 2.5 goals a game and you're at a 5.9, call it a 6. Suggest that we're going to see 8.5 goals in this thing. Now, I'm not from fairy tale land here. That seems like a tall order. But the way I envision this game plays out with these two teams going after it in playoff mode right now is it's desperation. You're going to get the most energy Calgary has between these next 2 games. They're not going to hold anything back in the tank. If Colorado scores, they're going to want to answer. Colorado scores, they answer. Best case scenario, Calgary goes up like 2 quick goals and Colorado has to fight and dig back. And we get ourselves a nice little 4-goal first period. So, we know Colorado, certainly first period over teams, both teams to score, I think are all good looks in this thing here, but take the over 5.5, 22-2. Nobody's talking about that. And that's what makes it so damn good for us to get this cash. Nobody talking about that money spot there. So let's go get it. Let's roll on. Dallas. I'm on Dallas in regulation in this game. And you notice my exacerbated exhale. Casey DeSmith is going in goal for the Dallas Stars. What's important about that is it's not Ottinger. It's their backup. He is 13-6-1, 2.37 goals against average, a 91.9% save percentage. Joey DeCord's on the other side of things, 24-20-5. He's unconfirmed, but was the first guy off the ice, so he should be playing with a 2.77 goals against average. The last time these teams played, Saturday, Ottinger busted up the Kraken 5-1. So they're going to the backup. He had a great game. That was against that Calgary team. He made 46 saves on 48 shots. That's one of those reasons why I like that Calgary team looking for the over. They're shooting the puck. But as it relates to this game here, this is probably, I don't know. The more I sat on this game, the more I started feeling it. It feels trappy. It really does. The Sharp Respected betting report came in, and it did say that Seattle Kraken's catching Sharp Respected action. Furthermore, they're jumping in on the over. Will the overs move from 6 to 6.5? I don't know if I can get down with that. The better team clearly are the Dallas Stars, and they should go out there and smack these boys, but with that bounce back and revenge, does it feel like maybe it's too easy just to take the Dallas Stars in regulation? It does feel like that to me a little bit. You know, if you want to look at a game profile that's sort of similar, this is that same immediacy of the bounce back and revenge, like we talked about with Minnesota Wild and the New Jersey Devils. The last time Seattle played was Dallas. Dallas kicked their asses. The only difference here is Seattle's now at home instead of, well, I guess they were at home that previous game as well. So, if you want to look at a similar profile, they played Edmonton. They lost 5-4 to Edmonton in Edmonton. This is Seattle Kraken. 5 days later, they played Edmonton again. Not immediate bounce back because they had Calgary wedged in between there. But they had Edmonton again. They came back and they beat Edmonton. This game scares me. I'm on it. I bet it early. I wanted to try to catch a good number. The line really hasn't moved the way I thought it would. Plus 145 for the Kraken. I don't love this game. I'm on it. I'll tell you what I'm on. I can't see the 6.5 in the goals, but I do see it with DeSmith, but he has a good record. So I'm just kind of, maybe I'm waffling. I'm on an official play. I'm on Dallas in regulation. It's even money. Play with caution. That game feels trappy. That game just feels like a big fucking T for trap. But I'm on. And if it's trap, I'm in. It is an immediate revenge spot for the Kraken. There's one element, though, that's not a change of venue situation. And also the line movement is, or the way the line is coming is what kind of doesn't trigger off any revenge bounce back opportunities. Basically, I mean, yeah, it should be, but it's a unique situation because they don't typically play that second game with time in between at the same venue. That's where, typically there has to be the venue change for the revenge angles to really take part. It's a great question, Jerry Davis, and that's really the fact that there's no change. It's kind of a weird situation too because they played on Saturday, and now it's Monday. So Dallas was basically sitting up in Seattle, just chilling, drinking coffee, and dealing with the rain while they get ready to come play this game again. I guess I'm not sure, but. I mean, the bottom line is when Dallas is a favorite, they're 44-16. That's enough. I gave you my trepidation here. Proceed with caution. I'm going to take the Stars in regulation. And honestly, it was that game or it was I take a shot with the Predators. And I told you I didn't want to get involved with that game. But I wanted a 3-pack in the NHL tonight. So that's the way we're going to go after it. And let's move on. Let's go into some Major League Baseball. Nice little 3-in-1 day yesterday for our members. Starting off okay today. Got 3 prop plays out there. I got 3 spots that I'm going to hammer away on, though, here with the Angels and the Cardinals. We're going to go to San Francisco and Houston, and then cap her off with the Tigers and the Mariners. Speaking of Seattle. And we'll look at cash flow and line splits and this stuff here because it does matter a little bit more than just your run-of-the-mill hockey spots there where we don't really get too focused on those. The Mets and Marlins, I said this earlier on Ramon's show. I can't trust the Mets bats. And maybe I'll be saying that 2 months from now, and you guys are going to be like, you're crazy. They got torpedo bats, and they're kicking the shit out of everybody. And show it to me. It's a conference game. It's a divisional game. Travel situation on top of it. And the Mets, there's two things you can know about these Florida teams. One, Tampa develops a great pitching bench. Tremendous. Maybe one of the best in the league. They find no-namers. They develop them. They work with them. And then they end up trading them away for king's ransoms when they're still flirting around with trying to get in the playoffs. The other team is the Marlins. And what do the Marlins do best? They build hitters. It's a fact. They have a great bullpen. They have a great farm system. They do a great job bringing up these, Jazz Chisholms and the such. And then because they're useless and irrelevant, they trade. So that being said, I like the Marlins more in that matchup than the Mets. And the Blue Jays and the Nationals, I do have a tendency to lean to the Blue Jays here in the first 5 to try to get some bounce back. 7:45, though. The Angels and Cardinals pop off. Got about an hour till this one tips or gets first pitch. We got a total that's moved from 7.5 to 8. And you got 98% of the bets and 98% of the cash on it. The money line is screaming Cardinals. And I think that's scrappy. 86% of the bets and 82% of the cash. We've got Anderson coming out fresh for the season for the Angels, and Miles Mikolas, coming out fresh for the season on the Cardinal side of things here. Cardinals started off the season 3-0. They're hitting. Bottom one. You can't win the game if you can't hit. Granted, it was Minnesota. It was 5-3, 5-1, and then 9-2. Scares me. A 9-2 scares me because you're not the New York Yankees. You're the St. Louis Cardinals. And that's where I think that we have some issues that pop into this game. I was looking overall and I saw the other side of things here with the Angels. It's the White Sox. So we don't really have a good litmus test as to who these two teams are. I can tell you this, though. You ready for this? If you were going to overreact to St. Louis and saying that their bats are hot, despite getting rid of Goldschmidt and, Newbar kind of becomes the go guy out there. What do we know about Anderson? Well, he's a lefty. And what do we know about the Cardinals when they're home favorites against lefties? They lose. They don't just lose 1 or 2. They're 0-6. If they're a favorite in the role, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull this game up. I lost it. I had it here, and I lost it. They're a favorite greater than minus 145, and they're facing a lefty at home. They're 0-6. And I'm not enamored by the Angels' bats either. I don't love what I see out of them guys. But I'll tell you what I do love. Seeing all the money pouring in on the over and it going towards the under. And that's where I'm going to get involved here. I got the under 8 for this game. And just simply the way I kind of correlated that trend is expecting at least the first 5, they get shut down. And maybe the later part of the game, it moves on. But they opened this thing up super low. It opened at 7.5. So the books came out expecting a lower game. The public dummied this thing up to 8. And I'm not chasing that steam. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to see these St. Louis Cardinals struggle on this game, and we're going to take a shot with it. So that's the way we're going to go. Let's go. Ricky Levine says Cards haven't seen a lefty in over 10 games. It's not good for them when they do. Now, granted, it's a new season, so some of these trends we'll take with a grain of salt. But history tells me you lost your batters. You played some scrubs. Both teams played some scrubs. They got a little travel in there. They're probably a little, the Angels have some travel. Not a ton of travel, but look, it's not like they put up 55 runs in 4 innings. It was 8-1 against the White Sox, 1-0 against the White Sox, 3-2. They scored 5 runs in 3 games. They happen to win 2 of them because it's the White Sox. That's what the Angels did. So we'll take the under. We'll see what happens. Jerry Davis says he's got to respect the guy telling him to go with the under. Hopefully that's me. The under I got to was minus 109, so it was a little juice spot. Rolling into this Houston game, the Giants and the Houston Astros will take battle in Houston. This line's got a ton of action, 78% of the bets and 82% of the cash coming in on the Astros. Hasn't moved. Moved a little. Kind of oscillated, right? This is the definition of oscillated. It opens at minus 126. It goes down to 125. But the Giants open at plus 108, and it goes up to 114. So this is where I think the benefit of seeing the first number to hit the street comes into play. Because all that oscillating movement, that's just the other books opening up the line, readjusting the number based on where they saw the early sharp buy comes in with limits. This total's gone from 8.5 to, that's my estimation. That's how I read that. This total's gone from 8.5 to 8 with 91% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. It's Blanco and Hicks in Houston. And what do we know about the situation with these two games? Well, we saw the Giants come out to a 2-1 series lead to start their season off. It was against the Reds. It was impressive. 2 6-run games and then a 2-runner in there. 2 of the 3 games went over. The Astros played the aforementioned Mets. And what did I say about the Mets bats? Well, let's take a look. The Mets bats got 1 run game 1. They got 3 runs game 2. They got 1 run game 3. You're going to go out there and lay $2 on the Mets today with those numbers? Really? If you're new here, this is what we do here. We fade away on those types of teams until they show us something. And that's something for me in this game happens to be another low-scoring affair. You know, it wasn't too long ago that we looked at both of these teams as under spots. We know that Houston likes to play unders, and we've already cashed twice this season on this trend. When they're playing non-divisional opponents, they go to the under. It's 10 in a row, 10 straight unders to the non-divisional opponents here. Houston is an under ballpark. We're going to take a shot here. We got the under 8. It's moved from 8.5 despite 91% of the bets and 83% of the cash coming in on that over. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me to say, let's take a shot. And where did this go? Where did it go? Let me see here. There was something I was trying to look for. For those that are interested, the sharp respected betting report came through on Major League Baseball today. The first game that they jumped in on, the Tampa Bay Rays. This second game they jumped in. Usually they give you a side and a total. Most sharp respected action, clearly is the name. And they gave us the Cardinals and the Angels under 8.5. That did move to 8. So a little correlation there with the movement that I was expecting to see. But I'm going to jump in on the under for this at 8 with the Houston Astros, San Francisco Giants. And the last game I got for you guys here, we'll go back up to Seattle. We got a little Seattle special. Even though we're on the Dallas Stars and the Detroit Tigers. We got a line that moved at plus. This is a big move. Plus 110 for the Tigers. Road dog. Now plus 104. 49% of the bets, right? So we look at the public kind of being the percentage of bets. It's all the tickets that get written. It's parlays, teasers, all that shit, right? Not shit, you know what I mean. Then we look at the percentage of bets, and that's where we try to see those are typically the sharper bettors. They're the ones that are coming in, dropping the backpack full of cash, saying, give me this play. And 78%, one of the highest margins on the board today of sharp action coming in on the Detroit Tigers. So we got to ask ourselves why. And we got Herbie Hancock starting for the Seattle Mariners. Both these guys are coming off of a fresh start. Joe coming over from Japan, coming into this thing, trying to make some things happen as well. And I'm sure I didn't say his last name right, but I don't care. What happens when you've got a road dog into the second series? Second series of the season. They tend to win that game 1 of the series, and then they regress and they get tired and they go back into their heels. They're turtle that goes back into their shell. Now we know they played the Dodgers. It wasn't lack of runs. It's just that they couldn't play any defense. They scored 4, 5, and 3 against the Dodgers. Had to be demoralizing because they're out. They lost all 3 of those games. Other side of things, the Mariners lost 2 of 3 games to the Oakland Athletics. That's a red flag. It's a big red flag. Now, we also track some of these things where we talked about like the 2s and 3s in college, right? When they're in the 2s and 3 points and the books don't know where to put them. Well, how about baseball? When we got 130s of a pickup, plus 130 to minus 130 in the regular season versus a team that's got less than 8.5 hits a game, the Tigers find themselves 8-0. Doesn't that fit perfectly into what I just described as these two teams? One couldn't hit and they lost to the Athletics. The other scored a bunch of runs, just couldn't beat probably the best team in Major League Baseball, at least from a batting staff perspective, in the Dodgers. Now you're going to put them together. The books are telling you it's a 130, and Detroit's an 8-0 in that spot. That's it. Plus, we have that huge respected margin out there with almost a 30-point differential telling us to take the Tigers. It's Tigers or nothing, and it's all Tigers for me in this game. That's how I want to get paid in this spot. There we go. Marlins up 1-0. What'd I say? Cincinnati's rocking rocker already. I should have been a little more bullish there. Bo Jackson likes the Nationals. We know our guy, Toronto Whisperer. He's at the game right now. He's telling you to go the other way. All right, I got 2 basketball games, and we'll put the bow on the show Monday. We got a full week ahead. Lots of action to get involved with here. I love this time of year. I love the Who Scored It game. It's my favorite. The Clippers and the Magic. I'm in on the Clippers. Want to let you guys know bright and early right now, this is a spot that I got down with here for 2 reasons. The sharp respected action showing the Clippers being the bet. The line has moved from minus 1.5 to 3, with 78% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Clippers. The Magic total has gone from 214.5 down to 211.5. The Magic are at home. We know that. This is a tricky spot. The rest of you got a team at home that's a dog coming off a late season win. You fade them teams. You know, this is kind of that we talked about it the other day. The regression of the baseball card, right? If you're a winning team, at some point you're going to lose towards the end of the season. And if you're a losing team, at some point you're going to catch a couple garbage wins at the end of the year. That's what this trend tells us. And when they catch that garbage win, you fade them. And if you do that successfully, you're 43-8-1. 8-2 over the last 10 games. The Magic did just beat the Sacramento Kings, and they beat them by 30 points. And the Clippers just lost. It's not that they just lost, though. Their last 2 losses they've got over this, 8-game swath? OKC Thunder, they lost by 2, and they lost by 5 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're thumping everybody else in between. If they play shitty the previous game and they allow 11 or more fast break points, they clean it up the next game. They're 7-0 against the spread in those spots as well. It's a Clipper spot. That starts at 7. And the last game I got for you guys here in the NBA, in the association, we'll go to OKC Thunder. A lot of points. Man, that was a lot of fun, that game on Thursday. That was probably one of the best finishes I've seen in the NBA. There's a lot of points. 13.5's gone to 14.5. 58% of the bets and 53% of the cash have hit in on the Thunder. Total starting to climb. 239s, 239.5s, now 240s, with 88% of the bets and 86% of the cash coming in on the over in this game. And yeah, I mentioned it, right? The Bulls and what they did. Well, they had that amazing comeback. What a run they had. Sacramento, Lakers, Denver, Lakers, all wins. They played Dallas after that exhausting emotional effort. They lose. This game suggests they're going to get busted up. I don't know if I believe that they're going to get that busted up. I think they can hang in this game. I need them to hang in this game because I'm jumping in on the over in this. And I don't even see them start sitting players. Frankly, they shouldn't be sitting anybody, regardless of what the score is, because the guys like Giddey and Boost have been out for such an extended period of time this season that to get their money's worth, you should put them out there and get them in the court. Bottom line, though, is when you've got heavy favorites, both teams coming off an over, it goes back over. Even though it's a heavy favorite, They're not getting busted up. They're hanging in there, making it competitive. It's 9-1 in its last 10 to the over. And if you're a team that's covered 8 straight games as favorites or more, you're 8-2 to the over your last 10 as well. So there's kind of some complimentary points out there that just because it's a big spread doesn't mean they're going to get nuked. Now, could they get nuked? Sure. We're going to hope not. We're going to hope for some points in this thing here. We're seeing the right movement between these numbers and how it all correlates to it. So 239.5 is a taller number to begin with. Last week we were kind of just taking some blind unders. Not blind, but 212.5. And it's like, well, it's a low number. So the books are expecting it to go low. Let's take the under. Kind of get the opposite here. They're expecting it to be a score fest despite a big spread. That means that I think the Bulls are alive. I don't think they're going to win the game. I don't think it's not a wrong team favorite. Don't misunderstand me here. But it is a spot for us to get invested on the Jover, and we'll take this over here to close up the show, you guys. That's going to do it. We got it in under the wire. I appreciate everybody spending the time with us here tonight. We got a full week ahead. All signs point to go. We got ourselves a live stream on Thursday. We got ourselves a big live stream on Saturday. And who knows what this is going to present us for March for the big tournament, the big game. Maybe we go live for that big game as well. But we got all kinds of things coming up. You guys can expect some rugby action this week. You can expect some 2 doses of UFC action between VBMMA and Rowan Scott tomorrow. It's myself and the Sports Money crew on Wednesday. We'll get the playbook out to you guys. We'll get you guys some golf action. We'll get you some NASCAR action. And we'll see what else we got for you. Some new video series coming soon. I'm excited to share that with you guys. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming in here, hanging out. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button on the way out the door. Good luck with your bets. On behalf of the Sports Money crew, have yourselves a great night.